Alright, tonight's shiur is La'atzlachat Am Yisrael. Welcome to our Wednesday night shiur. Our shiur is sponsored today by Gabriel Chai Ben Reuven, our cameraman. And b'zchut zikui Rabim he does, the zikui Rabim. May Hashem bless him, she'yivneh bait ne'eman b'Yisrael.
Amen.
Tonight, I want to share with you guys a story. It's a true story that happened in Bnei Brak, Eretz Israel. Bnei Brak, it's known as the city of the religious. The most religious city in the world is Bnei Brak. The Gemara says in Masechet Sanhedrin, "Acharei Rabbi Akiva leBnei Brak." How come Bnei Brak is considered such a holy city? Statistically speaking, it's such a congested place. They say Bnei Brak, between two houses, what do you find there? Another house. It's so congested. Borough Park looks like upstate next to it. The least amount of heart attacks, statistically, in the whole world, in all the cities, is in Bnei Brak. There's less people, and trust me, those people there smoke a lot. The least amount of heart attacks. The Gemara says, Masechet Sanhedrin, Acharei Rabbi Akiva leBnei Brak. Rabbi Akiva's yeshiva, you know where it was? In Bnei Brak. All his 24,000 students and everybody was in Bnei Brak. And because there's so much Kedusha over there, you could see open miracles sometimes. There was a story of a family that lived in Bnei Brak, and they had a store for kids. They buy tricks, fireworks, all these kinds of masks for Purim, all these toys for kids. And every Purim, they used to make a lot of money. Selling what? Fireworks, firecrackers. If you've ever been for Purim in Israel, it's not such a interesting, it's not such a fun experience because every 5 seconds you hear a boom. Fireworks, firecrackers, This family used to make a lot of money selling fireworks on Purim. The kids. I remember when I was in Israel for Purim one time with my father. We were there and we got stuck in Bnei Brak for Purim. We were left to right and we need to hear the Megillah. So we went right inside the shul, Lev Levayim. He has a shul in Bnei Brak. Something Levi'im. So we sat over there if you hear the Megillah in his shul. I come outside after the Megillah. It was the worst Megillah reading in my life. I think I maybe heard 3 words. Maybe 3 words. So after the Megillah, I left the shul. You guys think there's a lot of talking in here. You see what goes on over there. I leave the shul. I see kids outside on Purim. Maybe 8 years old, 9 years old, smoking cigarettes. It's Purim. I said, where did I come into? It's really v'nahafochu. Everything's opposite over here. And there's firecrackers, fireworks, and who suffers the most from these things? Old people. And this family who sell the fireworks, one day their son is climbing up the stairs. He falls up the stairs. There's no elevator. He falls down 3 flights of stairs. His neck breaks. Lo aleinu lo am Yisrael. The boy passes away.
Jewish?
Yeah, the owner of the store, his son. His youngest son passes away. Okay, mikrehu. It's a coincidence. It's no coincidence in Judaism, but what happens, happens. They bury him. 30 days later, his daughter gets sick. She gets very sick. Her kidney has a failure. They can't find a kidney donor. They can't dialysis it was too late, and she also passes away. What's going on over here? How do you say tragedy after tragedy in the family? Tragedy. Chain reaction. So they decide to go to the stipler, the father of Chaim Kanievsky. And he says to them, you know why this is happening to you? Somebody put a curse on you guys. A curse. Somebody has on you a kapeda. Kapeda? For what? He said, yeah. you guys sell fireworks. He had Ruach HaKodesh. He said, in your building, is there an old lady that lives over there? She said, yes. Does she always complain that you guys sell fireworks? He said, yes. Because go to her house and ask for forgiveness. Every time there is a firework that goes on, firecracker, she curses your family. You guys are the one who sells it. And they went to her house, they asked for her sorry, and the tragedy stopped. Sometimes a person can have kapeda on you. A person goes out with a girl, they're engaged, and suddenly you decide to break it off. The other party could feel so hurt. They'll put a klala on you, a kapeda on you. You won't be able to find another match. It blocks you. Sometimes, Chachamim say, be very careful. Whoever embarrasses his friend, en lo chelek v'olam haba. You know why en lo chelek v'olam haba? What? Just because I embarrass him? What? Embarrassing is less than killing is more than killing someone? If it's the same thing, like you just said, that means if somebody puts a gun to my head and say, embarrass him, I should be able to give up my life, right? Because it's the same thing. But it's not. I don't have to give up my life for that, so it's not the same thing. So akom en lo chelek v'olam haba. Because when you embarrass somebody inside of his heart, until you don't ask him for forgiveness, he has a kapeda on you. He has a grudge on you. He could curse you at that moment. Inside of his heart. And suddenly you're in a box. You're in a box. Many people, when they were in high school, when they were in college, when they were in elementary school, they bullied kids. And a lot of times, because of that, they hurt a lot of kids in their lifetime. When they get older, these kids who used to bully, what happens to their life? It's locked. What does the first thing a rabbi tells a guy that his mazal is locked? What does he tell him? Find a person that you hurt in your life and ask from him forgiveness. Why? To hurt another person is like hurting Hashem. Tzelem Elokim bara oto. Hashem created a person, but Tzelem Elokim. What's Tzelem Elokim? When God created man, He said to the angels, "Let us make man b'tzalmeinu kidmuteinu." In our tzelem, in our demut. Why did God ask the angels to make man in their image, as if God has an image? No. The Mefarshim explain. We look like angels. Our bodies looks like angels. But our brain, our thinking, our thought process is that of God's. So God told the angels, I gave human being sechel. Now I want you to give them the dmut, the body. That's b'tzalmeinu kidmutenu. Not that we look like Hashem, but our way of thinking, yodeh tov hara, is like Hashem's. When you hurt another person, it's like you're hurting Hashem. How could you hurt Hashem? But it gets worse than that. Sometimes the parents could suffer because they cause the kids to suffer unnecessarily. Sometimes a parent's mazal is closed because he causes his children to be closed. And sometimes vice versa. Sometimes the kids suffer because they cause the parents to suffer. There's a famous story in Israel. Usually, when does a family split? When does it split? When somebody dies. Why?
Money.
Who gets the money? Especially when by Sfaradim, it's not such a big deal, or it wasn't such a big deal. Why? What does a Sfaradi live when he passes away? What does he leave? A cucumber and a tomato.
No money.
No money. A cucumber, just one cucumber, maybe a garden. That's all he leaves. An Ashkenazi, you know what he leaves? Nechassim. Suddenly you find out that he had a offshore account and he had a safe, a building somewhere in the Cayman Islands. It happened to me. There was one story, one Sephardi guy, he was well-to-do. And he said, I'm going to be smart. I don't want he had 3 sons. I don't want my sons to be in junk. So I'm going to split the money while I am alive. Why? What's the point when I pass away? I'm going to see them enjoying from it. I want to see them enjoy from it while I'm alive. Do business, buy a house. So he split all of his money. He just left himself his house. But he didn't understand. The Chachamim said, don't do that. The rabbi said, don't split your money while you're still alive. Split your money when you pass away. Why? What happens when you split your money when you're alive?
You don't see them fighting.
You see, no, they don't fight between themselves, but you don't see them at all anymore. They stop caring for you. This guy, this poor guy, he split his money. For a couple of months, they started to fight. Who's going to bring Abba to his house for Shabbat? After a year, what happens? Forget about it. No more Abba. Why? He gave the money. He's not worth anything anymore. No more pool. Pool halach. Pool halach, Abba halach. So he started to do Shabbat himself, him in the 4 walls. Person gets out of his mind. So what happens? He goes to the rabbi and he says, Rabbi, what should I do? The rabbi told him, bless Hashem that he sent you to me. I have a good idea for you. Call your oldest son and tell him I want you to come to my house tomorrow with a truck. So he said to the rabbi, why would I tell him to come with a truck? Tell your son that you didn't give out your diamonds yet. You collected rubies and diamonds while you were alive, and you didn't give it out yet. You wanted to be a surprise, but now you're afraid because you hid it in a secret place and you're afraid you're old. You want to buy a safe and put it inside the safe. And the old guy tells the rabbi, you sure this is going to work? He said, it's going to work. 100% it's going to work. V'odech, it's going to work. He calls his oldest son in the morning. He doesn't come with a truck. He says, for what? I have diamonds. I need a safe. What? You didn't tell us? Why didn't you tell us? But you're an old man. Maybe give it out to us like you gave it your money. What do you need the diamonds for? Let's take care of it for you. Because no, the diamonds you're only going to get after I pass away. Right away, the son tells the other 2, they come, not 1, 3 with the grandchildren. They come, they buy a safe, they all day took a day off work, they were sweating, they put it inside the wall, they put it in. The father says, now get out of the room, I want to put it in myself. I don't want you guys to see where I hid it. It's my secret stash. And suddenly, every Shabbat, Abba, whose house you going to for Shabbat? Abba, I want this. Abba, I want this. Abba, 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 Abba. Karochi, this guy lived for the next 7 years. Kitov. Like a king. Every week the grandchildren used to come. Saba, Muchi, Ashof, this, that. They think he has a secret stash. 7 years later, the grandfather passes away. Yitgadal v'yitkadash, Shemeh Haba. Right away, they call the rabbi. Did you know my father left the... Yeah, you know your eyes are very close. Because I have the will, but could it wait? I have a shiur right now. No shiur, nikakoi shiur. We want to open the safe right now. The Shiva didn't finish yet. The 7 days didn't wait for the 7 days to finish. No, we want now. Okay, let's go right now. They go to the house. The rabbi is opening it slowly. Opens up the safe. What does he find over there? A big bunch of sand.
What? Sand?
Sand. How do you say sand?
So.
Sand. And on top of the sand is an envelope. They didn't even look at the envelope. They were looking through that sand. Maybe there's one big 20-carat diamond over there, you know? There's nothing over there. They find the envelope. They open up the envelope. The envelope said, this is what happens to children who don't appreciate their parents.
Yeah.
Take as much sand as you want. Das vidanya. That's what happens when we look at people as objects. That's why when a person passes away, all the family fights. Why do they fight? Because it just proves to them that their parents, for them, was a house, it was a bank, it was a couple of diamonds, it was a couple of pieces of jewelry. Because that's how you saw your parents. Why? Unfortunately, that's what the parents instilled into their kids. That what's the most important thing in the world? Kesef v'zahab. Davlat. And that's how we look at people. People is just objects. When we look at people like that, we degrade people. You're not as worth as much as the other guy. When we degrade people, we hurt people. When we hurt people, that's when the klalot happens. When a klala happens, what happens? Your mazal is locked. And the chachamim say, who gives a man the most klalot? Who? Huh?
Himself.
No.
Woman.
His wife. The chachamim say, beware of your wife's tears. Ki dim'ata mitzuya. She cries very easily. The chachamim say, before Yom Kippur, before you ask anybody sorry, who are you supposed to ask sorry? Your wife. There's one rabbi who says you have to ask your wife sorry every day. Why? Because when a person puts you beklala, bekpeda, he's a kapeda on you, your tefillah doesn't go up. Min adin oto b'shamayim, they excommunicate him in shamayim. But the second most dangerous thing to a person's mazal is his own mouth. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, if I was at Har Sinai, I would ask for two mouths. One for Torah, and one for mundane matters. Then he said, you know what, forget about it. Even one mouth you can't control. You're going to control two mouths? The Gemara says, it Masechet Nedarim. Whoever makes a neder, whoever vows easily. Nikra Rasha. He's called a Rasha. If you make a vow, you're called a Rasha. What is a vow? I'm not going to drink alcohol anymore. And make a neder. Alcohol is asur to me. You're a Rasha. You can't say that. If you make a neder, cigarettes are asur to me. You're a Rasha. You're not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to put yourself in a situation that you're going to fall. Nikre Rasha. V'mikre Chote. The Chacham, not Chachamim, Hashem Yitbarach was so specific with people that he knew that who makes vows more than everybody? Women. So the Chachamim gave specific powers to fathers and husbands to annul the vows of their daughters and their wives. Why? Because a woman said, you know what? I'm not going to eat any more cheesecake. I'm gaining a little weight. No more cheesecake.
I'm not going to do it anymore.
What happens? Is that a vow or not? We're going to learn if that's a vow. Cheesecake is asur to me. No more cheesecake. I'm not going to eat carbs anymore. Carbs to me is asur. Or she's going to say to her husband, no more cooking. I'm not cooking anymore. I swear I'm not cooking. Or she tells her husband, I swear that you're a Rasha. Right away, the husband has to say 3 words. Mufarlach, mufarlach, mufarlach. He doesn't say mutarlach. If he says mutarlach, it doesn't count. He has to say mufarlach. And what's mufar? I annul it. It's like she didn't make the vow.
You save to her.
Yeah, you save her.
Her, not yourself.
Not yourself. But this is a very important halakha to all husbands and fathers. You could only annul a vow of your wife 1,000 times a day.
But that day.
On 2 conditions. If it's a vow or a swear that affects you, That means if she says, the kitchen to me is asur. If she says that, you could annul it. But let's say she's gonna say, I'm not, this company of I don't know, kitchenware is asur to me. I'm not using them anymore. That has nothing to do with you, right? That you can't annul. Or let's say she says, I don't want to hear music anymore. Music to me is asur. That you can't annul. If she says, I'm not going to the shul anymore. Somebody over there put me down in the women's section. You can't annul that. It has nothing to do with you. You could only annul a vow of your daughter or your wife if that vow or swear has to do with you. That's number one. Number two, if the husband knows that the vow that his wife or the father knows that the vow that his daughter made is something that will cause her to go out of her mind. Let's say she says, I don't know, I'm not going to hear music anymore. Many people without music, what happens to them? Depression. That he could annul. Has nothing to do with you. But since he knows that if she's going to stop listening to music, what's going to happen? She's going to go out of her mind. He could annul it. How do you annul the vow of your wife or your daughter? Only on the day that you heard it. Even if it's 20 years later. Finally you heard, let's say your wife made a vow, she's gonna learn 2 halachot of Lashon Hara a day. Many women do such a thing. Or she forgot to say Bili Neder, and she started to go on those Tehillim groups. I hold those Tehillim groups they're not good. Why? Once a person does three times one mitzvah, he has to do it forever. He accepted it upon himself. So they make a group, Mishmat Kol Chai. And suddenly they read one day Mishmat Kol Chai, 2 days. She's excited. So she reads right now for 5 weeks, Mishmat Kol Chai. Suddenly after 5 weeks, you know what she says? Bas, how much can I read Mishmat Kol Chai? She can't stop. Why? Because every day she took upon herself to read Nishmat Kol Chai. She didn't say it, but she did it. Then suddenly the husband hears that what she did. On that day he has the power to say, Mufar lach, mufar lach, mufar lach. Mufar lach means I annul it, I annul it, I annul it. Not mutar lach. He doesn't say mutar lach. It says mufar lach. Okay?
Why are we taking vows serious?
We take it seriously because even though women speak sometimes without, the Gemara Masechet Kiddushin says 10 barrels of speech came to the world. 9 just took the species of the human female. The female of the humans.
And Bedi did not listen to her. Why didn't you listen to the vow at all? I mean,
Why do you have to listen?
let's say Bedi not taking you seriously.
The Beit Din doesn't take her seriously because from the Torah, a woman cannot be an Ed. But something that she says for herself, of course, she has to take it into account. How do we know this? When a woman gives birth, she has to bring a korban. Why does she bring a korban, says the Torah? Because she made a vow that she's not going to get pregnant again. Rabbi Shimon says because she cursed her husband. So something that a woman says for herself, of course it goes into account. Now, let's say a woman made a vow, and she wants to get it annulled. She wants to get it mutar. She is the only person in the world that can make her husband a shaliach. You know what a shaliach is? A messenger. Yeah. She doesn't want to go to the rabbi, she's embarrassed. Let's say she made a vow. She said, bread for me, asur. No more bread. Now she's afraid to say it to the rabbi. He doesn't want her to think, she's getting a little, So she could say to her husband, go and be my messenger to annul my vow. He doesn't have to do it, but he can do it. Now, let's say I made a vow, and I'm embarrassed to say this vow. Let's say a person made a vow, I don't know, he's not gonna, the city for him is Asur. No more going to the city for himself. I cannot go to you and tell, could you please go to the rabbi and be my messenger? Usually, I can even make a messenger to marry somebody. I say to you, Gabriel, be my messenger to marry this woman. For me, you're my messenger. You go to the woman and you say, Ariad Nikudeshet le so and so. But for Nidarim, you can't be the messenger. Nidarim, you cannot. Now, what's the most important thing? Before Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, 40 days before is Elul, Selichot. Ya Shema Evyonecha. So you go to your shul, first day of Selichot, what do? Hatarat Nedarim. Guys, don't fool yourself, it doesn't work. It only works for Nedarim that you don't remember. If you made a neder that you remember, you have to specifically go up to the rabbi and say your neder. If you don't say your neder, let's say, I'm embarrassed to say my neder. I made a neder that a certain website for me is Asur. I'm embarrassed to say it to the rabbi. I made a neder, I'm not going to smoke anymore. I made a neder, you know that plant that people like to use? I say that thing, it's Asur for me. I don't want the rabbi to know that I do that. So what do? That's what happens when you smoke weed. So what happens? You have to go to the rabbi and you have to say, I made a neder to do so and so. Even if you're going to embarrass yourself, you have to say it. I made a neder, I'm not going to wear jeans anymore. I want to annul the neder. I have to go to the rabbi and say, Rabbi, I made a neder not to wear jeans anymore. I made a neder to wear a hat when I pray. I have to go to the rabbi and say, I made a neder to wear a hat when I pray. A rabbi could annul all vows. All vows except for two. Tzedakah. If you made a neder, chai dollars to the shul. No amount of hatarat nedarim is gonna wipe that out. That's why if you think that the person is making a mistake when he says gives you your balance, you're never allowed to fight with him. Never. You have to pay it. Why? Because it's a neder. It's a neder. You understand? If you made a neder of tzedakah, the Gemara says, you must keep it as soon as possible. As soon as possible. The second neder that you have to keep is a neder that you made in a time of great distress. Let's say you were looking for parking. You're in the city, and we know in the city finding parking is like Kriyat Yamsuf. And you have a meeting. In 10 minutes, if you're not going to make it to that meeting, halach $1 million. $1 million. Halach. And you make a neder to Hashem. Hashem, if you're going to make me a parking spot right now, I'm going to give, I don't know, all the 10% for my maaser. I'm not going to give 10%. I'm going to give a fifth. Chomesh. 20% I'm going to give. And suddenly, out of nowhere, a car pulls out. Oh, Hashem, I was killing you.
It's okay, I got
it. No, you can't do that. Once it comes out of your mouth, you gotta give choresh. You can't do hatarat nedarim on that one. Why? Because you were in a time of great distress. You're about to lose $1 million deal. You gotta do it. How do we know? From Yaakov Avinu. He's the first person in the Torah that made a neder. He's the first person. When he was running away from Esav. Vayidar Yaakov neder. Yaakov made a neder. Now, when a person makes a neder, let's say I make a neder to Hashem, I make a vow. All the money I'm going to make this year, I'm going to give maaser. 10% from the gross. Gross is everything, right? Exactly. He made an neder before expenses. I'm going to give 10%. It's a shach. The shach brings his case down. And at the end of the year, he calculates. He's in minus. He's in a minus. Does he have to pay up or no? In that case, the shach says his neder is annulled. Why? Because a neder only rests on something that is kayam, something that exists. Something that doesn't exist yet, a neder cannot rest upon it. Did you make the money yet when you made the neder? No. So therefore, when you kept your gross amount at the end of the year, and you see what? If you didn't make that money that you thought that you would make, you don't have to pay the maaser, because at that time when you made the neder, did the money exist? No. Now, here's an interesting thing. To annul your neder, how many people do you need? Either one rabbi who knows halachot of neders, or 3 regular guys. Today we always use 3. There's only one case that you have to use 10 men. When? When you make a vow in your dream. Now I'm going to tell you something interesting. People think that they don't learn Torah in their dreams. Do you know that you learn Torah in your dreams? If you do one of these things, you're going to learn Torah tonight in your dream. Number 1, give tzedakah to somebody who doesn't know that you gave it to him. Number 2, say the averot that you said, that you did that whole day before you go to sleep. Say Ana. And number 3, when you wear tefillin, always think of your tefillin. If you do one of these 3 things, when you go to sleep tonight, your neshama is automatically going to go up to Shammai. It's not going to get stuck in midair. One time, a rabbi went to sleep, and in his dream, he sees himself picking up a cup of water. And in his dream, he says, Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam she'akol. He wakes up, and he says, Niya bidvaro. He doesn't know what to do. Should he run to the kitchen and drink a cup of water? Or should he say Baruch Hashem kol malchuto? So he said, what if he didn't say the whole bracha? No, he did say the bracha. Why? Because when you learn Torah in the dream, you're actually saying the words in your mouth. People talk in their dreams. The Ari HaKadosh was able to see what you learned Torah that night. Safek. So what did the rabbi do? He said Baruch Hashem. He didn't know what to do. By the time he would go get the cup of water, it would be a hefsek. Now, sometimes in your dream, you can make a neder. How? Let's say you smoke. You smoke, and you're always thinking, I want to quit. What do? You dream about what you think during the day. So you go to sleep tonight. In the dream, you know what to tell yourself? Cigarettes for me are asur. When you wake up the next day, you have to make hatarat nidarim.
Right away.
Yes. And not with 3 people. You have to do it with 10. Why? Even though you were thinking about it all day. But who put that thought into your head? Shamayim. And to make hatarat nidarim for something that heaven put inside your head, you have to bring down the divine presence. And how do you bring down the divine presence? Only with 10 men. Because any place that there's 10 men, the Shekhinah is there. I had this happen to me once. Once I made a vow in my dream. In my dream, this happened 2 months ago. No, before Pesach it happened. In my dream, I'm walking with my son, and my son lets go of my hand, and I lose him. And in my dream, I make a vow. I said, Hashem, if you help me find my son, I'm going to finish all of Shas. In my dream. And I wake up. So don't think this stuff doesn't happen. Because it happens.
Shas is what, 8 years?
Shas, if you learn 1 page a day, you're going to finish in 7 years. If you learn 1 page a day.
Good luck.
Thank you. Now, not only if you make a vow in your dream do you have to get it annulled. Also, if your wife makes a vow in her dream, she has to get it annulled. Yes. That's why Helchot Nidarim, women and men have to learn. Now here's the punch. You know, everybody makes a big deal. There's bugs in the food. Wash it 50 times with soap, salt, detergent. 70 hashgachot. You're eating a pig. It's alav. Every neder that comes out of your mouth and you go over it, it's alav mideoraita. It's like eating a pig. Every time come out of your mouth that you said, I make a vow to do something, and you don't do it, it's like you ate a pig. How is that for halacha? Now I'm telling you something even scarier. Those are just vows, and I didn't even touch the iceberg. The tip of the iceberg I didn't touch. What about swearing? What's worse, to make a vow or to swear?
Swear.
The Torah says whoever makes a swear, lo yinake. Hashem doesn't clean it. What's a swear? I swear that I saw I don't know. I saw my friend wearing a pink hat with underwear. In the street, you know, the cowboy in the city? One guy, it's a true story, comes from, Samarkand. This was many years ago, he came from Samarkand. He sits and he goes to the city for the first time. To, what's that place called, where all the Broadway?
Times Square.
Times Square. And he sees the naked cowboy. He goes back to his house in Samarkand. And he said, I swear that I saw a guy in his underwear in the winter playing a guitar in the middle of Broadway. He just was over in Isur, Boraita. Now, how do you make a swear? If you say something, let's say you were at the table together, and I offer you some sushi. And I said, take some sushi. And he said, I'm going to eat the sushi. Is that a swear or no? It's not a swear. Then I'm pestering, you know, Bukharians. They could kill you with food. They'll feed you so much till your neshama comes out. Because eat the sushi. Okay, I'm going to eat. Then you say, okay, I'm going to eat. If you said it twice, it's a swear. You got to do it. You got to do it. Why? Because Hashem in the Torah, when he said something twice, it's considered what? A swear. It's done deal. Now the Mefarshim say, you know what else is a swear? People don't know this. And many people fall in this avera. Many people. If you say something, then you're like this, be'emet. It happened, be'emet. I'm going to do it. Be'emet. Be'emet. If you say the word emet, you just swore in Hashem's name. The Mefarshim say the word emet is what? It's Hashem's name. That's pretty scary. How do you fix a swear? The Ben Ish Chai has a specific tikkun. If you guys want to get rid of your swears before Rosh Hashanah, let me know. We're all going to go to the mikveh together. It's a tikkun that you have to do for swearing falsely or for swearing in vain. It's a very big avera. Very big avera. All these things, a person does, I'm letting you know, we're 2 days, 3 days away from Tisha B'Av. I'm letting you know a secret. Don't wait for the month of Elul. This Tisha B'Av is very special, guys. Very special. Why? It falls not on the 9th of Av, it falls actually on the 10th of Av. When else on the calendar do we have a 24-hour fast? On the 10th day of the month.
Tishrei.
Yom Kippur. And right after Yom Kippur, what day is it? On the 15th of the month? Sukkot. And what does the Gemara say? Tu B'Av is what? The happiest day on the Jewish calendar. This year, Av is like Tishrei. Don't wait for Selichot to do Teshuvah. If you have a neder, guys, come to the rabbi. But, like I said, 2 neders, you cannot annul. Let's say I made a neder to finish this page of Gemara. The Gemara says, if you make a neder to finish a daf of Gemara, neder gadol nadar le'Elohei Israel. You made a very big thing in Shamayim. You gotta do it. You can't annul it. If you made a neder for tzedakah, I'm donating so and so money, you gotta do it. You can't annul that. If you made a neder in the time of distress, tzara, you can't annul it. But let's say I made a neder, I'm not drinking anymore. Drinking for me is asur. Alcohol for me is asur. If you say that, I want to keep it. If you're going to keep it, you're a rasha. But I'm keeping it, you're a rasha. You have to go to the rabbi and get it annulled. You must get it annulled. You're not allowed to put yourself in a situation to fall. And Bezrat Hashem Yitbarach, if you're going to take care of this avera of Nedarim and Shavuot before Yom Kippurim, because on Yom Kippur, I told you guys it's on Shabbat. The first thing that we annul on Yom Kippur is what? Our Vows, Kol Nidrei. And it's the most expensive thing. The first P'tichat HaYechal, the first Sefer Torah, Kol Nidrei, is the most expensive. Why? Nedarim, the Zohar says, Chayei HaMelech. I can't explain to you everything, but the neder is the power that comes out of a person's forehead. His metzach. It's a very high level thing. Where did the Kohen Gadol wear his tzitz? On the forehead. It's a very big thing. It's a Kodesh LaHashem. It's a very big thing. If you keep nedarim, if you take upon yourself this mitzvah this year, watch what comes out of my mouth. Anything that will come out of your mouth, any tefillah will go up straight to Shamayim. I'm telling you, it's a very big thing, Rabotai. Keep Hilchot Nedarim. Keep Hilchot Nedarim, Rabbi Isai. Why is Nedarim so important? I'm going to tell you one last thing. I'm going to end with this. Rabbi Yehuda Fetaye, in his book Matok LaNefesh, Zichrono Livracha, he says like this: why are we in Galut for so long? We're worse than the generation of Egypt? No way. I got a thing in the mail this today. There just one Hasidus, Yeshiva of Ger, has over, can you remove 14,000 Talmidim in Yeshiva, just in Israel. Mir Yeshiva, the biggest yeshiva in the world, over 20,000 Talmidim. Has there been a generation where you have thousands of kids learning Torah? No, there hasn't been anything like that in the history of the world. We're not worse than Egypt. We're not worse than the first Beit HaMikdash or the second Beit HaMikdash. Rabbi Yehuda Fetaye is a chidush. And this is true. This is what we read on the night of Yom Kippur. When God destroyed the second Beit HaMikdash, this year is going to be 1,950 years. Could you imagine 15 more years? It's 2,000 years. 1,950 years. When he destroyed it, the second one, he made a vow. You listening? He made a vow that he's not going to take the Jews out of the Galut until the time comes where the vow ends. It's scary. It's scary. That's the time of Mashiach. That's what we're all waiting for. Rabbi Yehuda Fetaye says in every generation, every shul, there's 24 specific souls that if they get together, they could annul the vow of Hashem. Did you hear what I just said? We have to annul the vow of Hashem. This is why Hashem is so particular with vows. This is why He's so particular. Because He Himself made a vow. And He has to keep it. We have to annul it. If Hashem has to annul His vows, the vows that you made, don't keep them. You have to annul them. All the evil degrees that are on us, on Am Yisrael, will be annulled. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen. Amen.